which went really well. The movie was called The Hard Way, and I got to make the movie with two now very good friends of mine. Well, Luke Goss was one. We worked together before, and I had the pleasure of working my first time with Randy Couture, you know, the UFC former light heavyweight champion. Oh, or was he heavyweight champion? I think he was heavyweight champion, not light heavyweight.
He's a badass.
Yeah, Randy's a badass, and one of the nicest guys in the world. But it was a great experience working on that movie in Romania, land of the vampires, but the nicest people you want to work with, and so that was a really great opportunity. But hey, always great to come back home. I'm home for a week before I go out to Australia, and I'm looking forward to seeing my fans out there in Australia. I'm going to Brisbane, Gold Coast, Melbourne, and Sydney, doing martial arts demonstrations, and I'm meeting up with a lot of people. We're having some screenings of old movies, well, former movies of mine, and right now we're talking about the campaign for the next one, which is Outlaw Johnny Black. That's what brings us here right now. And I want to personally thank everybody who's been involved and what it's really about. It's not, a lot of people think about this crowdfunding thing. It's not this is really not about crowdfunding. This movie's going to happen no matter what. It's about getting the crowd involved. It's about saying thank you to the people who put me where I am and trying to give that back. So I wanted to make sure that we had this line of communication open with the crowd base and with the fan base before we go into production. And we're going to continue that on through the production of the movie, even until the times that we're going to be in the theaters. And so that's the plan. And that's one of the things that I wanted to pioneer, that with this particular movie. I've got other movies like the one I just finished, but those are the movies that, are kind of, you've seen that type of stuff before. They're down the line action movies or whatever, but things like Black Dynamite that I've done in the past, like this, like Outlaw Johnny Black, and a few other things, and one called Capital Punishment that I've got coming for a television show, which I'm super excited about. These particular projects I want to have the crowd involved with, because it's they're very unique, and it's something that I don't even wish to do with the traditional Hollywood system. This is something I want to deal with directly with fans. But which brings us right now to Outlaw Johnny Black, the people who have graciously followed me through Black Dynamite, even though we were written off studio-wise. And that movie became a cult hit because of the fans. The fans told everybody, and it was a word of mouth thing, and that's what made it survive and be considered one of the funniest movies in a lot of publications. One of the funniest movies of the last 20 years. That thanks for publications like the Huffington Post, and there was just so many that really praised the movie, and that was a movie that I really got a chance to do like we really wanted to, myself and my partner Byron Menz. And here we are. This was our intention to do this movie. We wanted to do it earlier, but now's the time to do it. Now, the fact that we don't have to necessarily go through the traditional studio system, and we can market through our fan base and build that, and basically deliver on our promises. And this is one of the things that's important to me, that we can offer things that will never be offered anywhere any other time. The things that become collector's items the moment that you get them, because there's going to be a limited amount of them. There will be things that are personally signed by myself and the cast. That's like I say, it's a one-in-a-lifetime thing. Not only that, to be able to offer people the opportunity to not only visit set through our camera lenses and what have you, but to physically visit set yourself. And some people who will get a chance to get a walk-on role. This is something we kind of call, kind of a living in. It's well, I say it like this. It kind of outlives you to be part of a movie. It's kind of like, I would say, dare I say, the immortality aspect to movie making, because this, once you're long gone, this movie will continue. And you know, after after you, it's a morbid way to put it, but it is true. To offer people who would never get a chance to be in a movie the opportunity to do so, and I feel like that's something special, and I want to offer that opportunity to as many people as possible. We've got a few contests going on that I should speak about. What's happening here? Well, okay,
we had a winner.
We have a winner already?
Yeah. Well,
okay.
Yeah,
okay, you can speak. We got it. Okay, we have a winner of our last contest. Okay, Jonathan. Is it Jonathan?
Jonathan. Yeah.
That is a different way to spell it. Yeah, Jonathan Joseph from Daytona Beach, Florida, won a role in our movie. Thanks for playing, and we'll see you on set. Well, congratulations, Jonathan. I hope I'm saying it right because you know that's spelled a little different. But I mean, yeah. I hope I said it correctly. And okay, I'm supposed to announce the Lone Star Bounty Contest. How to enter and win: be the first fan to help us raise $2,500 in shared contributions toward our film goal through our Refer a Friend program. And that's the person that wins. Duration till goal amount is reached. I hope that was clear to you because I didn't understand what I said while I was saying it. Okay, how do be the first to help us raise $2,500 in shared contributions toward our film goal through the Refer a Friend program. Okay? Yeah, I understand it now. So yeah, I guess we got a lot of questions, and I'm gonna start answering some of the questions, some of the earlier ones.
Yeah. Biddy79 UK from Twitter.
What's that?
Biddy79 UK?
Biddy79 UK?
Must be from UK.
Yeah, I guess so.
Can we expect to see you in a Kung Fu movie anytime soon? We'd love to see you in something like Drunken Master.
Oh, man, I would love to do something like Drunken Master, man. Like, I don't have anything like that, anytime soon. But hey, Donnie Yen, hey, wink. I'm down to do that. I've done Kung Fu. I haven't had a chance to show much of the Kung Fu that I've trained in over the years, but I mean, those who know about the deleted scene from Kill Bill, you might get a glimpse of that. But I have a movie coming up we're planning on filming by the end of this year that I will do that type of Kung Fu stuff, and it's a period piece where I play on my wushu background, and so hopefully that will suffice.
All right. Mm-hmm. So I think it says Lim Chevy from
Lim
Twitter.
Chevy from Twitter. Lim Chevy.
Did you get motivation from the movie Posse before filming?
Oh, okay, yeah, I did get motivation from the movie Posse. That's very astute of you because that was the last black, true black Western, and my brother, my big brother Mario Van Peebles. I guess I can let the cat out of the bag. He's going to be appearing. He's going to make a guest appearance in Outlaw Johnny Black. So I mean, it's one of those things where I don't know if I should have said that, but I don't know how much people will keep this under wraps. But it means a lot for me that he could make an appearance and kind of hand the torch over to me. He's done that as his father has done that for this entire industry. These are two. I mean, he and his father are two people in the history of filmmaking that are just trendsetters. His father is Melvin Van Peebles, who basically created the black action movie, which eventually became blaxploitation, because when the studios realized that the audiences came out in droves, that they can exploit the fact that blacks were going to movies. It's kind of like when I see what's happened with Black Panther. Sweet Sweetback's badass song, which was Melvin Van Peebles' movie that changed everything, hit the same way that Black Panther hit just now. And what happened was the studios found out that people really were dying to see movies like that, where black folks were held up in a heroic light, and they were who were starved for a long time, and then that changed things. So it kind of, to me, is a reminder of that.
Nice.
I took a long time to answer that.
Where and when will you be filming the Outlaw Johnny Black?
Well, I hope to be filming that this summer because, as my partners know, we have some other action films that we're scheduled to film. So I want to get Outlaw Johnny Black out there as soon as possible.
Clarify if it hasn't been shot.
What's that?
Clarify it hasn't.
Yes. And Outlaw Johnny Black has not been shot. What you saw was a one-day shoot that I created a trailer, basically. I try to explain this to folks because they really think the movie's already done. But because of that trailer, using that as a tool, I have an amazing amount of A-list actors and just amazing celebrities who have already signed up to do this movie. So at present, it might have the most cameos than any movie I could have ever thought of. And that's because of you people. It's because of the success of Black Dynamite. That's because you guys, told friends and said, hey, I think this is cool. I think this is funny. I want to continue to do that. And I want to do that on our terms, basically.
Wow, some of these names. Adityathami?
Adityathami.
Adityathami
said it
from Twitter.
I'm just repeating him.
Are you planning to visit Indonesia?
Indonesia? Hey, I plan. I love to visit everywhere. I'd like that. I don't know if we're gonna.
Don't we have a project? Something?
Do we have
that's not in Indonesia.
What?
The movie.
Which movie?
The vampire one.
King of Vampires? No, that's not in Indonesia, but it's close. It's close. But no, it's not necessarily in Indonesia. But you gather up enough friends for a screening, you might see us.
Yeah, how was Romania, by the way?
Oh, Romania was great. Romania was great. I mean, I was there. I caught it was nice when I got there. Then it turned into a total blizzard, and it was like t-shirt weather by the time I left. So it was really cool, and it was the crew in Romania. I want to thank you guys, like from the bottom of my heart. I don't think I could have. It could have been better filming situation, and I can't wait to go back to Romania. It's always been. This is my third time there, and it's just been wonderful.
I don't think this was actually from a fan from Brazil, but this is definitely a question for your fans in Brazil. This
fans
is
in Brazil?
Monster McBurger.
Monster McBurger.
From Twitter. Was
Monster McBurger?
Was there ever or will there ever be a Falcon Rising sequel in the works? Such a cool movie. Keep up the good work.
Yeah, thank you, Monster McBurger. There's been a plan for a sequel to Falcon Rising, but there's also a possibility that might become a television series. So I got my fingers crossed because I enjoyed doing that role, and I would definitely love to do something in Brazil soon.
Winston Chitaro from Facebook is wondering, is the Outlaw movie available on the market yet?
Yeah, see, Winston, listen to me. It's not done yet. The movie is just not done yet. But if you can imagine what if you like the trailer now, and that was shot in one day, what do you think the trailer is going to be like when we got all our cameos in the actual movie? Just think on that. So I hope to continue your I hope to have your continued support by that time. But we got a nice long road before that happens. But no, the movie is not shot yet. You just saw one day of shooting because I designed the trailer before I shot.
So I'm going to circle back to Outlaw, but this actually comes back to it. So ZWit13 from Twitter.
Z what?
ZWit.
ZWit 13.
Zwit. I don't know. 13 from Twitter. When's Blood and Bone 2 coming out?
Hey, it's crazy. I got a meeting for Blood and Bone 2 today in 2.5 hours. So hey, I might have something. I might have an answer for you like later.
And
So
the follow-up to that is Haruna Sise said, "Will you be crowdfunding Blood and Bone 2 like you're doing with Outlaw Johnny Black?"
I don't know. Let's see how this crowdfunding thing works. But I mean, again, this is crowd participation. The funding is not necessarily what this hinges on. The as far as this funding, it's about, I don't care about breaking even. Basically, the money that's spent is going to be money. The money that was received is money that's spent back to you guys. Basically, we incur cost on shipping things out and actually creating the items. So it's really not about the dollars financing the entire movie. It can help, absolutely, but it's about offering you an opportunity that is going to be, there is a limited opportunity because there's a certain point once we're up and running that we have to shut it down. Once we get a certain number of people involved, then we have to, have a number that we can maintain. So once that number is reached, then the fans who are with us now become the ones that ride with us for the rest of the way.
Matthew Cote.
Matthew Cote, or was that Coop part? Just Matthew Cote. Is just wondering what.
If Scott Sanders is expected to direct Outlaw, loved his work on Black Dynamite as a director and co-writer.
Well, yeah. Well, no. Scott Sanders is not connected to this one. Scott's doing some other things, and he's in support, but he's not doing this one. Mainly the writers were myself and Byron Mintz, and that's the way this is going on this side.
So who is directing it?
Well, you're looking at a director. I'm directing this one, and you're in good hands.
Johnny Hunter, do you plan on getting Adrian Young back to compose the music for Johnny Black?
No,
Dude is the man.
Actually, Adrian's my man. He's busy as well. He's doing his thing, but we have got the man of man's a man. Like we've got the royalty and working on the music on this movie. We've got the Michael Bearden working on this, and if you didn't know who Michael Bearden was, just think Madonna's musical director, currently Lady Gaga's musical director, and a guy named Michael Jackson's musical director. If you ever saw the movie Michael Jackson's last one, This Is It, that's Michael Bearden with Michael Jackson. Michael Bearden has just recently, he's done the last number of Oscars. He's been the musical director of the Academy Awards and the Super Bowl. So I can't even imagine anybody bigger than this guy. And he is creating a soundtrack that is to beat all soundtracks. So honestly, he's worth the entire budget by himself. But he exemplifies the type of people who are working on this movie just out of love. And so again, this is something that, to me, it's about the experience more than the deal, and I'm surrounding myself with people who just really want to have fun and want to do a project that means something to them. This makes maybe got 3 Oscar winners who are interested in doing this movie, and this is unheard of. Normally, 3 Oscar winners would cost some ridiculous amount of money, but it's just out of just coming out and doing a movie that is fun for everybody.
Hey, ask everybody to tell us where they're from on
Facebook. Let us know where you're from. We love when our arms are reaching out across the seas, and we want to thank you for supporting us, because I know it's probably not the best time of the day for you to do so. So I definitely want to give my thanks to those who are following us from other countries.
Okay, so Joseph Rangel from Facebook asked, will there be any fighting scenes in the new movie?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. There will be fighting scenes in Outlaw Johnny Black. That's for sure. That's definitely for sure. I can't do that to you guys. I mean, definitely gonna have some really cool fighting stuff, some great shootouts, and you know, I got to represent.
So let me ask, what's your cap?
What's my cap? This is Street Soldier brand, which is I'm part of this company, but yeah, this is my favorite hat, my favorite brand, Street Soldier, and you can find it online. And yours truly, tell them yours truly sent you.
Vincent from Facebook asked, have you ever considered making a movie with Jean-Claude Van Damme?
You mean, have I ever considered making another movie with Jean-Claude Van Damme? I've actually done 2 movies with Jean-Claude Van Damme. Well, they were both called Universal Soldier. People don't realize I was in the first one because you need the pause button to see me. But I'm in the Vietnam flashbacks. But then later on, 8 years later, I come back as the nemesis to Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Next question.
Oh yeah. I'd like to make another movie with Jean-Claude. I dig him a lot. We got along great. I think he's a great guy. I wish the best for him always. And Jean-Claude, people don't realize, man, he's a really nice guy. He's really funny. I encourage you to look at his new series, Jean-Claude Van Johnson. He's hilarious. This is the guy who doesn't take himself too serious, and he's always been that way. He's real cool and down to earth guy.
So Troy Henry from Facebook asked, are you going to be making a movie with Jackie Chan?
Troy Henry, I would love to make a movie with Jackie Chan. Man, Jackie Chan to me, I'm going to say something controversial here, but I should learn my lesson. But I want you guys to look at a Jackie Chan retrospective of the fight scenes he's done, right? Or just like even half of what he's done. And imagine Jackie Chan doing these amazing things with a serious face. Okay? See, sometimes when he's making these, expressions, you're not appreciating what the hell this man is actually doing. Just use your imagination and imagine imagine Jackie Chan with I'm gonna kick your ass face while he's doing it. If he had done that, which is not what he wanted to do, if he had done that, I believe we would be talking about Jackie Chan and then Bruce Lee. That's actually that's the controversial thing I'm going to say today, because you're going to sit there and you go, can Bruce Lee do that? Then you're going to go, no, he couldn't. Nobody could have done that but him. So my heart goes out because Jackie Chan has created a level in martial arts fight scenes that no one has touched, but he doesn't get credit for it because it wasn't deemed as serious. So, why I said that and you're gonna incite all this hate, I don't know, but I had to say it because Jackie Chan really deserves it.
Oh, Timothy Robinson, is this movie in kind of like historical with Bass Reeves?
Thank you. I love when people just kind of do their homework. You see the Bass Reeves connection there. The mustache is completely Bass Reeves. Thank you for noticing that. Which is a story I would definitely like to do in the future. But that would be an absolute drama. But that is a story I really want to do under my label.
It's a fascinating story.
Yeah, it's a fascinating story. And if I get into that, then, all the time will be wasted. But Thank you for noticing that.
Byron talked about it a little in his interview. If they want to watch that, he has a little bit of a story in there. It's really thanks for that. Right. There was a question I missed the name because it went so fast, from Croatia, though.
Croatia. Thank you.
About a 4th installment of Never Back Down.
Oh yeah, well, fourth installment of Never Back Down is a definite possibility. I think I forget what the plan is with the third one. Um, the distribution. I think there was a thing where I'm not sure where the distribution is right now because people were having a problem finding it. Which is a thing where another reason why I want to do my own stuff so I can control it. You can come to my website and and then get all the movies kind of direct. So because sometimes with these different distribution deals, they'll make these deals before the movie's done. Then they have a movie that they love and they don't know how to contend with it. So that's the thing that happens sometimes.
Somebody asked this again because it keeps coming up. If the outlaw Johnny Black is Black Dynamite's great grandfather.
Well, I mean that's creativity on their side, but no, there's no direct connection between Black Dynamite and Outlaw Johnny Black. But I do appreciate the ingenuity. Yeah.
You ever consider making a movie with Jason Sterling?
Jason Sterling. Would I do a movie with Jason Sterling?
Right.
Who's Jason Sterling?
That's a good question. How about Timok?
Oh, Timok? Yeah, I mean, actually, did they mean Jason Statham? Do you think they meant
It said
Jason
Sterling.
Statham?
I thought
Sterling.
I thought maybe they meant Statham, but I don't know.
Oh, there's probably Google Jason Sterling. Maybe I don't know him by name or something. But I've worked with Timok. People wouldn't know that though, but I worked with him on a stage play, actually. But Timok is an old friend that I wouldn't mind working with in the future, but somebody whose career I had to really study, and was instrumental in me understanding some of the politics of this industry. I feel Timok has not been treated the way he should have been in this industry, but like I said, I paid close attention to what was going on with that, and sought to rectify it.
I think it's coming back. Someone was asking about if you're going to be filming scenes in Europe. They were asking from Norway, but I think location-wise for Outlaw, because it is here, but a couple of different areas that we'll probably shoot in.
Yeah, we'll be shooting it around the LA area, so no scenes in Norway. But some of the things we have things in the future that's already got large funding and what have you. That I have a funding arm that's going to be doing bigger movies. I chose not to do that with this movie. I wanted to make sure that this started on the grassroots level. So again, I'll reiterate, movie's not done yet. Want you guys involved, and your involvement makes a big difference in the deal I strike with getting this movie done. Because when I know I have the connections with the actual fans, well, that speaks loud to anybody. So my investors, they then are far more confident and willing to take the ride.
Coolin,
so, yeah.
Oh sorry, Coolin 79.
Cool?
Is that Coolin with a K?
Coolin with a K 79.
Is wondering why haven't you been in any DC Marvel movies? Or are you staying away?
Why haven't I been in any DC or Marvel movies or whatever? That's a DC Marvel question. So it's I don't know. My thing is I concentrate on the things that I can control. DC Marvel, I support it, and I dig what they're doing. If I fit something and it fits what I want to do, then that'd be great. But no, I just haven't been invited to the party.
Sorry, I missed the name, but they were really wondering how can I get involved in the Outlaw Johnny Black? Like, what can I do? You
can log in. Look for outlawjohnnyBlackmovie.com. And you can become involved in several ways, and even just getting the word out. That's That's very important right there, because that's power. By getting the word out, that empowers us, and that we continue to reach, reach people that make a difference. And when I've got those you guys as followers, you strengthen my position. You make it so that I can fight for you. I can fight for getting more screenings and getting personally involved and going on the road to as many theaters as I possibly can, which is really what I want to do. As far as a staple of my particular brand, that's what I want to do. And sometimes in studios, you might have a few, you have a publicity run, but this is something that's completely different. I want to be able to go to every major city where my supporters are and have screenings, thanking the people, all you people already involved, to consider that you've already paid. If anybody's contributed to the website, you basically look at that as you already either have entrance or VIP status to our personal screenings that will be all over the country and hopefully all over the world as well. So
if they register an account too on our site, then they'll get stuff that nobody else is going to get.
If you register to your account to our site, you're going to get stuff, and you're going to be privy to things that nobody else will be privy to. Again, there's a finite number that we're going to have that we can no longer accommodate. And if you're within that group before that number is reached, then there's stuff that you're going to be privy to that nobody else will be. We will have, I think unlike any other movie, the kind of cameos that I believe that's going to happen in this movie is going to be a feast for people to see when we're shooting all the behind the scenes type of footage and make that available to people. So you register with our site, you then become one of the insiders, basically. So, that's really what it's all about. And this is a grand experiment that hasn't happened before. Most of the times when there's crowdfunding, the producers, the people get their money up, and then you don't hear from them again. You don't hear from them until the movie's made. But this is something that now, because I'm starting it this way, I can continue this control throughout, because I'm the one making the decisions, and you're putting me in a position that I can then do that.
Site URL? Someone's asking what the site is, the URL of the site.
The URL of the site.
Outlaw Johnny Black.
Outlaw Johnny Black movie.
No,
is this framed? It's not framed? Okay. OutlawJohnnyBlackMovie.com. That's the URL.
Real quick, and this is interesting because someone said that I want to receive email alerts from Gigantic Studios.
Okay.
So we're in the process of setting that up. So it will be separate, but still connected to.
Well, I don't know if you guys heard that. But the name of my studio is Gigantic Studio, JAI Gantic, and that's kind of the hub, and that's what other movies are going to be operating under, and what have you. So, what's good?
The answer, yes, there will be a sign up to get alerts for everything Gigantic.
Yeah, there will be sign ups to get alerts from everything that Gigantic has to offer. And Gigantic is going to be expanding into a lot of things this year. I'm going to be putting out fitness content, fitness videos, behind the scenes stuff, martial arts, very exclusive martial art type things. There's also a worldwide martial arts competition show that I'll be hosting. So there's, and then not only that, the other movies that are going to be coming up. Some in the sci-fi world, and it's going to be a lot of stuff coming through there.
Cool. So Judea, Washington, a lot of other fans have been asking about Spawn. Any chance you'll be in a Spawn sequel or working towards working in?
Yeah, I'd love to explain this to you guys. The Spawn stuff. That's from my knowledge, it's I believe Sony held the rights, the filmmaking rights to Spawn. And I know Todd McFarlane has said something about trying to put a movie together. And I just recently heard something about Jason Blum from Blumhouse possibly doing something with Spawn. I don't know. I'm not in control of Spawn, even though I played the character. But I mean, fingers crossed that I'll be involved with something Spawn related in the future. But there's been speculation for the last 20 years about Spawn. And so my head is about to explode. So, imagine how much of it I heard.
I'm gonna give you a way back question.
A way back question.
Dead filler.
Dead filler?
Yeah.
Dead?
Yeah.
Filler.
Yeah.
Okay.
What is your takeaway from working with Troma films?
Oh man, my takeaway from see, there you go. That name goes with Troma. I just heard that Troma is I don't know if it was a
Toxic
goof.
Avenger.
Yeah, but Toxic Avenger, which is where I started. I heard that it was a stage play.
Really?
Yeah, I love the guys at Troma. Lloyd Kaufman. I mean, he's such a fun guy. He's such a personality. I'm very proud of getting my start in such a unique and cult-based film. I think it's kind of it kind of adds to my spirit of doing things independently. I think that I might be very influenced by Lloyd and Troma. They gave me. I mean, I was supposed to be a day character, like a pretty much like damn near an extra on the film, and I ended up choreographing, doing a dance routine. I did like about 7 different things in the movie, just because they had basically open arms and this was open to creativity. And ever since then, I always looked at movie making as I looked at the entire thing. I never looked at it just as an actor. I've always looked at it as a filmmaker or producer, and I think that's thanks to the Troma guys. But I have a deep love and respect for them.
Oh, this actually is interesting because it's coming up. Someone from Australia is wondering if you're going to be doing any promotion of Outlaw Johnny Black in Australia.
Yeah, well, yeah, I'm sure Outlaw Johnny Black is going to come up while I'm in Australia. I'm going to be in the Gold Coast, Brisbane, Sydney, Melbourne.
You could remind people of that tour too.
Yeah, I'm reminding them of the tour right now. so yeah, you folks in Australia, this is going to be my first time in Australia. One of the reasons I can't wait to get there because literally, I mean, honestly, I've never met an Australian that I didn't like. And it was just, I've always said, damn, I got to go there. They just seem to be some of the most balanced, down-to-earth people who kind of look at life the same way I've always looked at it. So, I mean, I'm looking forward to that.
Okay, so Nathaniel Superfly from Facebook asks, what's your biggest inspiration for directing?
My biggest inspiration for directing?
Yeah.
I'm not sure what that means.
Like as a director, your biggest inspiration as a director?
Well, I mean, I like to direct things that I know I'm uniquely fitted for. I don't like to direct for directing's sake or the power of it. That means nothing to me. If I feel like the particular movie is best suited by me directing, that's the only time I will direct something. Some of my favorite directors, if that's partially what the question is, Cameron Crowe. Cameron Crowe is probably my favorite director. It's kind of weird, but you think I'd probably pick an action person, but some of my top favorite movies, some of my top 5 favorite movies, 2 of them are his, and that's Almost Famous is one of my favorite movies, and the way that Cameron Crowe balances out his directing and it's kind of special to me. So that's the guy I kind of look at.
Speaking of directors, when are you going to work with Tarantino? Yeah.
Well, that's people act like, when am I going to work with Tarantino again? Like it's my choice. Well, Quentin is invited to this party, in fact, people don't realize this. As Quentin, actually, when I was putting together Black Dynamite, Quentin and I were talking, about it. Like, and Quentin gave me some of his ideas. So I mean, of course, he's like a major influence. And there's another great director who made a suggestion once he saw a screening of Black Dynamite, and we took his suggestion, and that was Spike Lee. And Spike Lee saw it and really liked the movie, and he encouraged us to put Buddy Lewis's character, what is it, Gunsmoke, out of his misery. And so thanks, Spike Lee. And you know, this is one of those things that was just like this little trivia stuff that's just, I don't know, I'm very proud of.
So this is actually an interesting question because it speaks to where Gigantic is going in the future too. Is Quentin McLean? Are you open to movie scripts written by fans like me? You are my hero, and I would like to show you what I have.
Well, yeah, I mean, a lot of people like, you know, much respect to you. Yeah. This is a day and age where there's a lot of people who have their scripts. Okay. I'm still, I mean, the reality is I'm still trying to get some of my own done. Some things that I'm super passionate about. The hurdle that everybody has to jump is that you have to get your script read. And sometimes you have to make sure it's something that can survive the readers. Because it goes from the producer who has very little time to read anything. So a lot of times their readers have to read it and say, hey, and it, you know, this is good, and they have to put it up the ranks. So sometimes you have to, you know, you have to go through that. I still have to go through that. It's not easy because almost everybody feels like they can write a script. Maybe they can, but nowadays I hear often, oh, she's a prostitute, but she's got this great script. I mean, not saying a prostitute can't write a great script, but it's about, you know, it's about, martial arts, so it's a weird time, but yeah, your obstacles are there. You gotta, jump these hurdles, but it's kind of tough, but this is one thing I will say. If your script is great, it will survive. Everybody who reads it will put it up the ranks. And so if that doesn't happen, maybe there's something flawed in your script.
Yeah, you can kind of speak to the future of our platform and how we want to be able to.
Yeah, eventually we will have readers. We will have people that will be able to, read your scripts and see if it's right for our brand. Right now, this year, it's a little tough for that because we're still positioning our own projects. But I look forward to the time where we need to take on a lot more projects.
Eric from Facebook asks, how are you going to change or modernize the martial arts movie genre?
How am I going to change? Eric from Facebook says, how am I going to change or modernize the modern arts? Well, I intend to. I tell you, it's not done for me. I feel the natural evolution in martial arts fight scenes and martial arts action in movies is to one day get to a point where you don't realize that you're watching choreography anymore. Great acting is when it doesn't feel like you're watching people do dialogue. Like, you can look at a soap opera and then somebody starts talking over there and they look like this. But you accept it because that's the way the soap opera is. And in martial arts fight scenes, all of a sudden people start fighting, they stop talking, and they do certain things that are not realistic. Well, I'm beginning to try to do things to make it seem a lot more realistic. Some of the greatest fight scenes, in my opinion, are those that look far more realistic. Like, two of the greatest fight scenes, I think, are Meals on Wheels with Jackie Chan and Benny the Jet Urquidez, and the classic Chuck Norris and Bruce Lee fight scenes. It's a shame I'm reaching all the way back. I'm reaching decades back, and we still don't have fight scenes that parallel that. The closest modern fight scenes to that, I think, are a few things that Donnie Yen has done. Shotokan, SPL to a lot of people. Donnie Yen is really innovative in that. He's making a mark, and also Iko Uwais from Raid, and that's that's the direction I'd like to go with the fight scene stuff.
So I got two Outlaw Johnny Black related, and they're from Twitter, and they don't leave the names on long enough to write them down.
Okay. Yeah.
One from Twitter is, what can we look forward to in Outlaw Johnny Black?
What can we look forward to in Outlaw Johnny Black? I'd like you to look forward to the telling of this story, a fun story. This is something that does homage to the Western, and specifically the Westerns circa 1970s. Keep an open mind. It's more of a movie that, as you would see with the trailer, that's not as irreverent as it could be, and because I don't think that's the way you do a Western. Western is a movie. Those movies are wrought with a certain morality and certain Western ethos that I think is a mistake to deviate from. But you can still have fun. You can have your political humor and very very exciting action stuff. So look forward to a movie that's very unique with unique action and just a fun movie all the way around.
So yeah, the follow-up was there any like specific inspirations, films that people could watch that really inspired you to make?
My inspirations, okay. I mean, there's an inspiration that I would love for people to watch. There are 3 movies that were done with the duo of Bill Cosby and Sidney Poitier. There was a theme. There's a heart to the movies that they did. Uptown Saturday Night, Let's Do It Again, and A Piece of the Action. These are movies that really established something for me, and this is the tone I'm trying to set here. There's a tone that there's a certain type of movie that we don't see any longer. There's the 3 that I just mentioned, and there's also, I think, another big influence is the movies of Eddie Murphy. Early Eddie Murphy movies. There was a balance in those movies that I've never seen since then.
Genius.
Where 48 Hours, Beverly Hills Cop,
Trading Places.
Trading Places, and one of the funniest movies ever is Coming to America.
Mm-hmm.
There was Harlem Nights as well. These are arguably some of the funniest movies ever. Still absolutely clean family movies that just lacked for nothing. And these movies are a big influence to me. I think in the Eddie Murphy era, I think the golden Eddie Murphy era, there were no movies better than those. I mean, that is the mark that I'm trying to get to.
Speaking of the 80s, he had a good question there.
Eric, who just asked a question earlier, is asking again, why do you think we don't see martial art movies in theaters anymore like we used to in the 80s and 90s?
Well, yeah, see, martial art movies, well, there's usually... Okay, why we don't see martial arts movies like we saw in the 80s and 90s is because it just was done to death then.
Golden age.
Yeah, that's the golden age of that, and that was the golden age of DVD, not even DVDs. What was it? VHSs back then, and what have you. And still the martial arts isn't as old as people think, really. Like, karate is not that old. Actually, the founder of modern karate and Kyokushin, which is, like modern karate being Shotokan, one of the most popular ones, the founders of those systems died in my lifetime. So it's not that old. Oyama died in 1994. So it hasn't been around as long as people think. But I think it just needs to step up. These days, people know what real fighting looks like. I mean, you've seen, decades now of UFC and Bellator and what real fighting looks like. I think people are a lot more sophisticated in the way that they view these things. They can tell when an action scene is done by a double, or it's the shaky camera, and the lead actor really doesn't have the skill it takes to actually pull off the performance. So and I think it's a big reason why I'm still around, because I've always elected to do what I can do on screen. There's no faking it. So I mean, I think there's the sophistication in the audience that are not crazy about that stuff anymore, and I think they've spoken. So that's a big reason why you don't see those movies around anymore, because people know better. They know when somebody can't do it, and the majority of those folks couldn't do it. I hate to just kind of burst a bubble, but that's just the truth. Like back in the day, when dance movies were very popular, you had Fred Astaire or whomever, you shoot them from head to toe. They're showing that they can do it. But then later on, when people who couldn't dance, they had to create those scenes in the editing room. You cut down to the feet. It's like, a flash dance. You knew she wasn't dancing because you saw her feet, and you see the girl up here just smiling, and then you cut to somebody that is a dancer. So in martial art movies, same thing happened. This was a double, and you didn't see the real guy doing it. So that's a long-winded, response to why you're not seeing that very much now.
Whatever happened to Kung Fu theater?
Kung Fu
was like my childhood.
I don't know.
I love that.
Yeah, I used to dig Kung Fu theater too, but you can burn out on stuff. I watched it so much that it's I kind of got burned out on it too, because the storytelling is basically the same.
Yeah, it's a good one.
What's that?
Nala from Facebook asked.
Nala?
Yeah. Who is your current favorite UFC fighter?
Oh, good question.
Who is my current favorite UFC fighter? Oh man, that's hard for me. You gotta like Conor McGregor.
Okay.
I like Conor McGregor, and even though he's just so screwed up recently. But
what did he do?
Yeah, he had a fight with a bus.
Did he win?
Not really. But I mean, Conor McGregor, he's my favorite just because he's really skillful. And people think it's just talk, but he's really skillful. From the first time I ever saw him, I'm going, oh man, this guy, the way he moves and keeps people at the end of his blows is unusual. Only John Jones and a few other people had this knack for doing that. A lot of people, he's gonna beat a lot of people because there's these little nuances that non-fighters don't really understand. Even professional fighters don't understand. That I could bore you with, but yeah, he's evolved to a place where a lot of people only my fighters will understand this. Most fighters strike from in the pocket. Well, Conor strikes before getting into the pocket. If you can understand that, you kind of, know what I'm talking about. He brings something into the pocket. If he's in the pocket, you're already hit. So that may go over a lot of people's heads, but fighters will understand what I'm talking about.
What is your favorite style of fighting? That was from.
No,
didn't get a name.
My favorite style of fighting. Fighting has to evolve. It's not one style that is the end all beat all. I love Kyokushin because of the spirit that's derived from it. it's a spirit of overcoming yourself. You have to. It's kind of brutal, but Kyokushin I love so much is because you're going to be faced with yourself. In every aspect of Kyokushin, you're faced with oblivion. You train to you can't push anymore. You're fighting till you feel like your limbs have kind of ceased, but you then have to go further. I always call it like the Navy SEALs of martial arts.
Kyokushin are you training right now with that?
Yeah, I've trained Kyokushin all my life, but that's my favorite style because of what it does for the individual, what it does for your mental state, your mind state, and your. We have a saying that a lot of people don't realize came from Kyokushin, and that saying is us. You see other styles go us, whatever, but what us is, which came from Kyokushin only. It came from Kyokushin. It means to push and endure. So you go us. You are pushing and enduring, and that is something that kind of that's a superpower. That no matter how far you think you can go, you can go further than that. Now, as far as the techniques and the fighting techniques, yeah, well, there's certain things that need to be evolved in that style. But the spirit is what I'm talking about. That makes me, that my favorite style.
That same person was asking about, are you planning on getting your next Dan?
Yeah, my superiors above me, they've been trying to get me to test for the last, 8 years or something to test for my next Dan. Just so happens that sometimes when the tests come up, I'm off doing a film or what have you. There's another testing coming up in Vancouver. Since I've risen to a certain level, there's specific places only like I have to test now in either Japan or in this scenario where I can test in Canada. But I may be able to do that, and I believe that's in October. But it's got to be some time where I can, heal up. I'd have to heal up enough to get back to work.
This you'll probably like this question. What style of fighting are you planning on doing in your next movie?
What style of fighting am I planning on doing?
And I want to combine that with, will it be weird to be doing any sort of martial arts type stuff in a Western?
No, I mean there have been martial arts stuff that's been done in Western. If you recall, there's Kung Fu. Remember that series with David Carradine? We got somewhat of
Jackie Chan did a Western.
Yeah, Jackie Chan did a Western. Toshiro Mifune did a Western with Charles Bronson, and so yeah, there's room for that. Remember, there was a whole lot of Chinese people building the railroad here. And they brought Kung Fu with it. Kung Fu is 500 years old. So hey, there you go.
Oh, so Ronald Haley, and then a lot of other people are asking about any chance of Wesley Snipes having a cameo in Outlaw Johnny Black. Are you working with him in the near future? Well,
I gotta see when Brother Wesley is free. I don't know, Wesley is the weirdest thing. I see Wesley at my house. We watch the fights together. But it's weird. Wesley and I are friends, but we seldom talk about business. Of course, Wesley is going to be invited to, come aboard Outlaw Johnny Black. Absolutely. People don't realize how funny freaking Wesley Snipes is. They have no freaking idea how funny he is, and that dude can do impressions. He can dance. Wesley has not shown all the stuff he can do. So
it's not done yet.
Yeah. So I'm gonna try to, I'm gonna try to convince him to do a little something. He's been talking about working together for a long time. So, I'll see what luck I'll have. But we'll be watching the fights together real soon.
Oh, someone was asking what your thoughts were on Shotokan.
My thoughts on Shotokan is Shotokan was technically my first black belt that I got. Shotokan is, I feel like it's kind of like the spine of martial arts. Of course, it's heavily focused on kata and form, but very strong kata and form. I think Shotokan is one of the best styles to train in, especially if you're going to do other styles. It gives you such a great foundation that you do better in other styles if you started with Shotokan.
Nice. It's kind of fun. You have a good answer for that. Are you going to be doing any movies with Scott Adkins?
Am I going to be doing any movies with Scott Adkins? Yeah, I got one just came out, Accident Man, and which was great. Scott is produced it and he starred in it. Wrote it. So I'm real proud of him for that. But Scott and I have another movie coming out called Triple Threat, and that's with myself, Scott Adkins, Michael Bisping, Tiger Ching, Iko Uwais from the Raid movies, and my brother Tony Jaa. So that and Selena Jade is in that movie as well, and so that's going to be. And how can I forget? Forget it, man. Why there's a few other people in the movie I just blanked on, but that movie's coming out. Jija, from actually, if you guys know Chocolate, that movie, or in Never Back Down 3, she played the crazy girl in the gym who was kind of like cleaned up really well. So she's like the female Tony Jaa, but we're all in that movie together. So it's kind of being billed as an Asian Expendables with some people who are not Asian like me.
Oh, real quick, someone was asking when the movie that you did with Mel Gibson is coming out, or the trailer.
The movie. I don't know. So I'm not the director of that movie. The movie I did the movie with Mel Gibson and
Vince Vaughn.
What's that?
Is it Vince Vaughn?
Yeah. Mel Gibson, Vince Vaughn, and Tori Kittles, and that movie's called Dragged Across Concrete. That is, and for those who know the movie Bone Tomahawk, directed by S. Craig Zoller, who is an amazing up-and-coming filmmaker. But a lot of people call him the new Quentin Tarantino. I had the pleasure of doing a movie with this man, and I'm looking forward to seeing this movie, and I'm looking forward to that trailer. When I know, I'll let you guys know.
Cool. And then Darren from Facebook asks, what is your current opinion of Lyoto Machida's style of karate?
Oh, I dig Lyoto Machida's style of karate a great deal. In fact, we kind of fight kind of similar. That's why it was so fun getting to spar with Lyoto Machida in Never Back Down 2. Which incidentally is like, that's not choreographed. We're just sparring each other. And which is like a little bit irresponsible for me because I'm the director of the movie and I'm sparring this UFC champion, and but I'm goofy that way. The same way with there's times where Josh Barnett and I are sparring unscripted in Never Back Down 3. Now, little trivia thing. Originally, Anderson Silva agreed to be in Never Back Down 2, and it was supposed to be Anderson Silva and I sparring, but when his best friends Lyoto Machida stepped in at the last minute, and wound up doing it. But that's another guy I can't wait to train with that guy one day. Is Anderson Silva.
So who was the one that asked about anyone ever challenged?
Eric is asking, has anyone ever challenged you in the martial arts world?
Has anyone ever challenged me in the martial arts world? No. I always thought it would happen. I honestly thought somebody would challenge me from UFC or someplace like that, and I would do some kind of special fight. But I'm such a goofball. I fight with everybody anyway. Anybody who I'm a fan of who's fighting, I find ways to find them, and I get to know some of the best fighters that I've ever, that from everywhere. I mean, I trained with and sparred with some of the best anyway. So, I recently, as I don't know anybody that follows me on Twitter or Facebook, I was trying to get with John Jones. I was shooting a movie last year in Albuquerque, and I was training at Jackson Winkler Academy because one of the things, John Jones and I have a number of friends in common, and so I've been trying to get to train with this guy for forever. And since he's kind of on a hiatus, I figure, hey, this is a great time to do that. And so I would train at Jackson Winklejohn with his trainers who encouraged him and said, hey, man, it'll be great for you guys to get together and spar. But, John just never showed up. But, I don't know. I didn't try to take it personal. But John Jones, come on, man. Let's work out together, man. Let's train, man. I love to be able to train with some of the best people out there. And it's not an ego thing. It's just, I just love to test myself. I love to be able to and just learn, man, and share. I sparred last year. I sparred with two of my favorite fighters, as one being Gokhan Saki, who was like considered the Turkish Tyson, and and me and Michael Bisping sparred a little bit last year, but my conditioning was so horrible that I was tired out after like 3 rounds. But I want to make it up to Mike and get in the ring again, and especially when he's getting ready to fight again, because he was getting ready to fight while we were in Thailand. But the air just sucked all the wind out of me.
So I think we got a few more questions. So Dev was asking, have you ever gotten in an altercation on set?
Oh, I've never gotten an altercation on set. No, God, no. I can't imagine that ever happening.
Any other actors or?
No. Nobody wants to get embarrassed. Honestly, really, when it comes down to it, like, who'd want to? No, that doesn't happen. Because I'm not the type to get in an altercation anyway. I'm going to understand where people are coming from, and I can't imagine that ever happening. I don't get into altercations in bars and what have you, because I pretty much usually understand people's perspective, and they don't want to get embarrassed at the same time. Nobody wants that to happen. I used to think people will be gunning for me, but when it comes down to it, I don't know. I don't carry myself as a person that people want to necessarily do that to. Some actors who have a chip on their shoulder, yeah, they incite it, and they gun after them. And I've seen that happen first and foremost. And I know some actors who people just want to knock their heads off every time they see them. There's a reason behind that, but I don't tend to do that. And besides, there's nobody who can't really get me in a ring anyway. If you're a good fighter, believe me, you could probably get me in the ring.
Okay, so Czar Foster asks, what do you think of when some black belts say that a person can't fight and they get beat by this person who's just a brawler? Can you say now that this person is now not a black belt anymore because he was beat?
Black belt has nothing to do with fighting ability. Let's just say that right now. In the last 30 years, if you got in a black belt, that does not mean you know how to fight. It means you spent your time and you got your black belt. Back in the day, 30 years ago, if you were a black belt, you had to fight. You had to be tough. Now it is a business. So, I've had black belt friends who got into fights and forgot how to fight because they've been sparring, for so long. So yeah, that doesn't mean anything. Fighting is a different animal.
Did you ever spar with anyone that you were really surprised at their ability? Like you didn't expect it?
Did I ever spar with anybody who I was surprised at their ability? Yeah, there's been people like that, but there's nobody you would know. It's not like this is a famous person. I would spar with people. I would wrestle with wrestlers who were dominant. I remember I used to spar with Billy Blanks. Billy Blanks was one of the top point system fighters. So I would spar him in point system fighting. And I remember one time Billy Blanks got the best technique against me than anybody. And we, it's like we're having fun, but Billy Blanks swept my feet out from under me and hit me before I hit the ground. And that was such a cool thing that I put it in Blood and Bone. When I sweep a guy, he didn't do it the same way as I did in Blood and Bone, but he inspired a move in Blood and Bone because that happened to me. But he tripped me and caught me, landed a shot on me before I hit the ground. And I thought, man, that was so cool that I ended up putting, somewhat of that in my movie. And so, it's not about the ego. It's about, if he hadn't done that to me, that wouldn't even exist in my movie. So Billy was always very crafty. As a big guy, he was always crafty. So maybe I would consider Billy Blanks.
So Lunder's asking, when are you going to finally release some training videos?
Well, hey, through Gigantic Entertainment, I'm going to be, I have been crafting these training videos. I've actually started shooting it. So it's going to be fairly soon. It's fairly soon that you're going to see, some training stuff coming from me.
This is more of a statement, but we've had a ton of people that have told you greetings from Wakanda.
Greetings from Wakanda. Greetings. Oh, so proud of you, Wakandans.
So successful.
That's great. I'm so happy to be wrong. Oh, I'm so happy to be wrong. I thought the industry would never do a movie like that. Years ago, I thought, man, because there was this belief that black movies didn't sell overseas, which was a false belief. But just because certain movies like Color Purple and Amistad did not do the numbers that were expected, then they basically threw a blanket over all black film, which was I always thought was terrible, because it's action movies that sell overseas all the time, whether black or white. And for them to paint that picture when every black action movie was always successful overseas as well, which is the reason why Wesley Snipes existed so long, which is the reason why I still have a career. I knew that was not the truth. So the fact that Marvel stepped up and did this, and in spite of the belief, the falsehood that black movies didn't sell overseas, I applaud them, and I'm so happy that it is proven what a movie like that, which is just a cool movie, that it supersedes race in anything, and that the characters happen to be black and happen to exemplify some of the oldest culture in the world, was just a plus for the movie. I'm just filled with pride for the fact that movie existed and Marvel chose to do that in this climate. Hey, Wakanda forever.
Speaking to that, and I don't know who Tito is and how he heard about this, but I have to ask.
Uh-huh.
He's asking, so what's going on with this Moore movie?
What's going on with this Moore movie? Okay, yeah. Well, I happen to mention some movies that we're already getting, that I'm trying to do Outlaw Johnny Black before I do these other ones. Let's count them more as these other ones. So I'm happy to say that is in the queue.
So you're talking scale.
Yes, a very, very big scale. Now, whether it's a coincidence that movies like Black Panther has happened and showed the world that this content is something that is very that the world's ready for. Maybe it is a coincidence, but just so happens we're in the midst of getting these things done. So it's a really good time for us.
Melvin Vincent asked, do you have a production company I can invest in?
Yes, I do have a production company you can invest in. It is Gigantic Entertainment. We are going to be doing things that is going to be a little bit out of the box, and it's about it's about having our, people with like minds who really want to show something to the world that really the Hollywood system has failed to capitalize on. So, yeah.
And what's the contacting URL for Gigantic Studios?
What's the contact and URL for Gigantic Studios?
Yeah.
You just asked me.
Well, giganticstudios.com.
Yeah. Well,
contacts on the site.
Yeah. Just so you know, the man who's in charge of all of that stuff just asked me. Right? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, but it's like I'm thinking. Wait a minute, you're asking me? No, but it's giganticstudios.com. Yeah. But gigantic spelled JAI, giganticstudios.com.
That really
say that. Okay.
Is that's actually I'm going to do it as you're speaking. I'm going to do it.
Okay. Okay. I'm going to announce a new reward: Outlaw Johnny Black on demand. Pre-order a digital copy of the Outlaw Johnny Black to watch, stream, and own on all your devices. We are also offering this bundled with premiere tickets for a nice discount. Look out for it on our website. Get our movie digital, no shopping fee. Get our movie digital, no shopping fees?
No shipping.
No shipping fee? Okay.
Yeah.
Get our movie digital.
There's a lot of people overseas that the shipping was kind of expensive on the Blu-ray, so we want to offer it digitally so they don't have to pay for the shipping.
Okay. Get our movie on digital? No shipping fees?
Digitally, yeah.
Yeah, digitally.
It's on demand.
Digitally. I'm going to try to say the word digitally. Get our movie digitally. Is that just me? Digitally? Digitally. Yeah. Can you say Russell Westbrook? I can't say that guy's name. What's Russell Westbrook? Russell Westbrook. Say that 3 times. I am off. I'm just kind of going off on a tangent. Okay, so
it literally just went live.
Literally, digitally, and digitally. I did it that time. It literally and digitally just went live. See, if I use my announcer voice, I can do it. This is the announcer voice. It literally and digitally. Just see, I use that voice. I can say anything. Russell Westbrook. See? Yes, the announcer voice. Offer a special live stream coupon code.
Just through Saturday.
20% off plus free shipping on any reward or bounty through Saturday using coupon code. Live stream at checkout. Does that make sense to anybody?
So the coupon code is live stream.
The coupon code is live stream.
And if you use it now through Saturday, 20% off.
Everything's 20% off. Now, how much would you pay for that? Don't answer, because you get steak knives with that.
That's it. That's all I got.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. But yeah, I got, I do the sales thing. My partners, and they're putting these things together, and I'm the talking head that puts it on. But I'm understanding it. I get it. I have to say it a few times before I do.
You don't have to break it down, but it would be cool to talk about whoever wins the Ultimate Outlaw is going to get in a fight with you.
Oh yeah. Okay. See, they sometimes I get back from Romania and they got little like surprises for me. So are you telling me that whoever wins the Ultimate Outlaw gets in a fight with me in the movie?
Fight scene.
A fight scene with me in the movie.
Yes.
Okay. 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 Well, I guess if I said it, then it has to happen. What scene is? Which scenes? Oh yeah, there's a few fight scenes. Yeah, there's a number.
There's a couple of fight scenes.
Yeah, well, yeah. So so the Ultimate Outlaw. What am I reading? This is
a
lot of stuff.
You don't have to read it.
Yeah, it's like
I just wanted you to let him know that.
Okay.
Because
so why'd you hand me this big ass piece of paper?
In case you wanted some other information about it.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So just to confuse me further. Yeah. But yeah, the Ultimate Outlaw wins when's
It's on the site. They can.
Yeah. It's on the site. Cool. Yeah. So you can fight with me. That sounds kind of messed up, right? Like no, I'm not. You can sue me too, right? So like that. No. So that's a.
But only guys. It's
not a real fight.
You're not gonna fight any women or kids or anything.
No. I'm not fighting. Yeah. So I can fight women. No, I guess I. No, I don't fight any women in this movie yet. But that it'll be fun because movie fighting is some fun stuff. But I honestly, it's all about having fun, and I'm happy to be in this situation where I can invite folks to do these things and do this stuff outside of the normal Hollywood system, outside of the box, and kind of make an experience for everybody. So I mean, thanks for supporting me. Thanks for contributing. Please continue to contribute. Please continue to get the word out, and look forward to taking part in some more fun with us. Again, I'm hoping to be getting this movie up and running really soon this summer, in a matter of a couple of months, and hopefully I'll be broadcasting from set very soon. All right. So thank you again for joining me, and you guys take care. See you soon.